Oh, my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get the pin to go.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV. We are here for the final day of the Summer Classic series on the PWBA Tour in 2021. The final match play round from the Bowl TV Classic about ready to get underway. Folks, my name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are unbelievably excited to bring this action to you. 8 games remained of round-robin match play, including the all-important position round coming up in a couple of hours to determine our top 5 for tonight's step ladder finals, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bowl TV. We're going to go ahead and get out to the lanes here, and then we'll bring in the rest of the Bowl TV crew as we get underway here. Our tournament leader is 17-year-old standout, Junior Team USA member, Jillian Martin. She leads by 3 pins. Took it over in the last game last night over Diana Zavyalova, the 4-time PWBA Tour champion. Sitting in third place, Verity Crawley, who won a little bit earlier this year in Nashville and has made both shows so far at the Summer Classic Series, a 4th place finish at the Go Bowling Classic and a runner-up finish as the top seed at the IBC Classic. Sitting in 4th place, looking to make her 2nd show here at the Summer Classic Series, Jordan Richard. And sitting in 5th, also looking to make her 2nd show, Brianna Cote. Players outside looking in right now, Valerie Bercier, Daria Payuk, Saki Mukutani, Sydney Brummett, and Ashley Rucker are rounding out the top 10. And with bonus pins, 8 games left to go, a lot can happen. But right now we're going to bring in the team as we get underway here. Our first look at Jillian Martin over there on lane 6 at the ITRC. Let's welcome in Matt Cannizzaro, who had the opportunity to chat with Jillian last night. Matt, how you doing, big guy?
Aaron Smith, here we are. Final 8 games. This is where it gets exciting, right? This is where you get amped up and do your thing and crunch numbers and say, let's go so loud and all day long. And looking forward to it. And, of course, the exciting conclusion, the step ladder tonight. Some great hosts for that show as well. Can't wait to see who those 5 players are going to be.
It's certainly a good reason to get amped, Matt. This 41-foot condition offered a lot of challenges, especially toward the end of the block. The players were super far left, trying to manage their angles through the front, find a way to carry. A few players are able to do that. A few players faltered at the end, which made the standings even tighter. But right now, I know as excited as I am, I know the most excited man, not only in the ITRC, but potentially all of East Texas, is Curtis Von Kruger. So let's bring him in.
Are you ready to rumble? Because I am. Because Aaron Smith, I don't know if you know this, but in after a mere 7 games, we have something happening that I can't help but just get absolutely utterly hyped about. Do you know what that thing is?
It's a position round.
It is a position round. And it just induces such nostalgia and such excitement in me. I can't help but be uncontrollably excited about the prospect of a position round. And I look at these standings, and while 200 pins seems like a lot, and you know what? You don't ever want to be on the south side of 200 out of the show. But if you think about it from a mathematical standpoint, if you win all of your matches, you just win all of your matches. You're taking home 240 sticks. If I do my math correct, that is correct. So if you can manage to win your matches and bowl some good, and obviously you'll be bowling some good games in the process, you can make the show today. And then so that means I look down here at the list, and Kelly Kulik, she would have to make a run of all runs, but she's 231 sticks out. Dasha Kovalova, 208 out. But then you look up Liz Johnson, 155 out. And I will tell you this, that 155 can evaporate in a single game for the most part. So while it seems like there could be a cliff here or a cliff there from the standings perspective, and it is a traffic jam from 12 up, those ladies have a really good shot at absolutely making a run for the show, and we will see lead changes. We will see the basically a different amalgamation of the top 5 before it is all said and done. It's like we're dropping it in a cup, rolling it out on the table, and seeing what you get. You mentioned it earlier, and it is going to be about how you navigate this transition. You saw players bringing loft into play. I was very impressed with Jillian Martin yesterday. You saw game 7 and 8. She started really kind of lofting and getting around it a lot, trying to get it through the heads. Game 7 and 8. And there are not a lot of 17-year-olds who are like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm just going to put a little loft on it and get around it and change my release up in game 7 of a national tour title. But Jillian Martin did it, and she is showing her versatility. And very impressive to see her come out of the gates, be 621 over, and be in contention for this title. So really excited to see how that plays off. Obviously, Verity Crawley is a huge storyline, as you mentioned before. She's really everything's clicking in her game. Her mental game is as strong as it's ever been. But a player that I really anticipate to have a really good edge here, Jordan Richard. I said it at the beginning of this tournament. I liked Jordan Richard in this particular event because of the way she can throw the ball. She can throw it hard. She can move left. She can get it through the heads. And if she can be in the pocket, she's going to strike with the best of them. So I really look for Jordan Richard to have a very strong start today and be in that final cut when it's all said and done.
All right, folks, the best way to travel along and follow the numbers as we break them down throughout the course of the day is, of course, joining us here on Bowl TV. We have every pair in play. You can watch every single shot for the rest of the day on BowlTV.com. You can follow your favorite athletes as they navigate this 41-foot condition across the ITRC. For right now, we're going to go full screen so you guys can enjoy these matchups, but myself, Matt, and Kurt are going to be hanging out all day long to bring you the action. Our matches here on lanes 5 through 8, our current featured pair. Lauren Pate taking on Jillian Martin. Valerie Bercier, who's right in the mix as well, taking on Brianna Cote. So, Curtis, you talked about position round matches. That's the 5-6 match right now happening already. And then over on 7 and 8, we got Rocio Restrepo taking on Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Misaki Mukutani, who's currently in 8th place, taking on Diana Zavyalova, who's in 2nd. So some primetime matches to kick things off. Of course, you can follow along on live scoring as well, available at PWBA.com.
Another good match over here. Jordan Richard and Sydney Brummett squaring off right here in front of me on 11 and 12. And then a couple of no-namers bowling each other. I guess Liz Johnson and Kelly Kulik. I don't know if that's a bout of the heavyweights or not. Pretty much between them, they've done everything there is to possibly do within their own sport and a little bit of what's been possible to do in other sports. So Liz Johnson, Kelly Kulik taking on each other right now. Both of them looking to have a good momentum, try to get something going here early. It's difficult for a player like Liz, especially when it gets in late, but it really just shows her versatility and her ability to change things up. She's obviously a player that wants to play straighter. She likes to have her angles in front of her. She likes to be able to play up the boards, and it can be difficult at times for her to kind of open them. I say difficult in terms of relative terms of Liz Johnson difficult because she can do everything. But it is not her A game to open up her angles and put a little pepper on the ball and try to get away from the pocket. But what she is good at, and what I expect to see from her, is loft. She can get a little loft on the ball and get it moving through the head. So look for her to kind of put that into play today. And again, she's not very far out of the cut. So if you want to check those matches out, that is on lanes 11 and 12. But as you said earlier, Aaron, there are heavyweight matches across the house, and there will be all day.
That is the excellent part about this 24-player field. All players qualified based off of 18 game totals, 9 from the Go Bowling Classic and 9 from the International Bowling Campus Classic. So for 56 players to kick off the Summer Classic Series down to the top 24 based off of qualifying totals from those events. And another storyline we're going to be tracking throughout the course of the day with some of the way some of the things have played out here at the Summer Classic, with a few players missing the cut, a few amazing performances, specifically from Verity Crawley. The PWBA Player of the Year race is very much alive, very much exciting, and very much could have a new person at the top of it when it's all said and done today. Entering competition at this moment, based off of their current spot in the standings, Julia Bond still is holding on to the top spot, but it's only by 2,000, about 2,400 points ahead of Verity Crawley, who entered this event in 6th place, but on the strength of her 4th and 2nd place finish so far, and currently sitting in 3rd place to enter competition today. If she held on to that 3rd place spot and Julia stayed where she was at in the standings, which is a little bit farther back, so for Julia, an opportunity to make up some ground. She's starting the day in 20th. A big mix-up in this race heading into the final quarter of the season, essentially. Verity has been arguably the top player on tour since she made her debut at the Twin Cities Open, has won title, has made 5 shows now, which leads, or is tied for the lead on the season with Dasha Kovalova, who currently would be in 3rd, Shannon O'Keefe and Missy Parkin, who missed the cut here at the BowlTV Classic, would currently sit in 4th and 5th based off of where everybody's sitting in the standings right now. So there's a lot to determine with that. We're going to keep an eye on it. We'll chart that throughout the course of the day. And of course, looking at the stepladder finals tonight, especially if we do have Verity in there, we'll be updating that game to game just to kind of let you know how that's sitting. There's a scenario where Verity Crawley could be the leader in the season-long PWBA Player of the Year race by the time we're said and done tonight.
An opportunity to talk to Verity last night, and that conversation will be released here in a little while. Had an opportunity to talk to her a little bit about her performance, her win, obviously, in Tennessee. Had a little bit of time to talk to her about her performance so far this season, and some of the challenges that she faces being an international player, especially through kind of, COVID and all of these. And I hate saying that word on air. It doesn't make me happy, but she's had to overcome a lot more than some of the other players who've had the virtue of kind of being stateside the entire time. But she has made, has come out smelling like roses, if you will. And so that conversation will be released. Just a delightful individual to speak to, and I appreciate her candor and her approach to this season. And it has been an amazing ride so far for her. And I just look for her to continue on that momentum and continue on that track. And she talked with me about it and said that she doesn't really think about the points and the numbers and the players of the year race and anything like that. But obviously, it is a dream and a goal of hers. It's one of those long-term things that you have in your mind from a 30,000-foot perspective, but in the day-to-day, it's not something you put a lot of energy into, because that can only put a little extra pressure on you. And really, as these players are performing, they're looking to take pressure off of themselves through their mental strength and their toughness and other strategies as well. So, Verity's just focusing on executing her shot, executing her game plan, and wherever the chips fall from there, hey, that's where they fall. So Jordan Richard off to a start, front 4, 7 spare in the 5th, and then followed up with a strike in the 6th frame. So she's getting off with a little bit of a hot hand here against Sydney Brummett, who had an open in the 2nd frame, followed by 3 strikes. So that one can tighten up if Jordan doesn't keep striking and Sydney does. So I'll keep you updated on that radio call. Looks like Kelly Kulik kind of just spare strike, kind of going for that Dutch 200 pace right now. And Liz Johnson open in the 4th frame, converted a split in the 5th frame, but she could potentially have 86 in the 5th frame.
Folks, as we settle in here, about halfway point of game 1, just a friendly reminder and hello to everybody watching here. If you're watching on bowltv.com, I see a lot of familiar faces already in the chat. So good afternoon to all you good folks. We appreciate you swinging by as always. And we know you're looking forward to the rest of this round and the stepladder finals tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. We also have an audience right now on Facebook and YouTube. So hello to you folks. And Bree did just about everything you need to do there, except somehow nothing hit the 4-pin. So she has her first open against Valerie. For the folks watching on Facebook and YouTube, we will be here for game 1, and then we will be sending the broadcast exclusively bowltv.com. So we hope to see you over there over the course of the rest of today. As we look ahead, obviously, we got 7 games left to go here in the stepladder finals tonight. And, the best way to check out Bowl TV, just head on over, bowltv.com. And you'll have a few options when you head to the site for the first time. You'll have to create a login, but a few subscription points to come in at. If you just want to watch the competition for today, it's going to be $8.95 for the live coverage throughout the course of this Tuesday through the stepladder finals. Get you all the access to watch live on the ITRC today. If you want to check out a monthly recurring subscription, that's going to be $9.95, so $1 more there. With the recurring subscription, though, you get a little more access on the site. You actually get full access on the site. So you can go back, watch archived events if you wanted to. If you missed some of the Summer Classic series, you want to check it out, you can watch all that. Of course, other USBC short duration events available as well. Junior Gold, ITC, ISC, all available on there from earlier this year. Masters, US Open, a lot of great stuff available to check out, as well as our on-demand content. So a monthly recurring subscription will get you that for $9.95, or an annual recurring subscription will also get you that. That's going to be $79.95. Transaction fees do apply for all 3 as a heads up. And, if you're looking long-term at Bowl TV, you want to check it out or experience the community. The community is probably one of the coolest parts. It's one of the things we look forward to the most. A lot of great interaction in the chat. A lot of folks going back and forth, talking about bowling, talking about, maybe not everything bowling. So it's a good mix. It makes the time fly by as we're watching the top athletes on the PWBA tour compete week in and week out. So a big shout out to the Bowl TV community. And on top of that, we have giveaways as well. So we've been giving stuff out during every round here, and we'll have something come up a little bit later in the block. And tonight during the stepladder finals, we're going to be giving away 3 bowling balls, brand new. 3 bowling balls from our gold industry partners, Brunswick, Rotogrip, and Storm. So the only way you can make yourself eligible to win a bowling ball tonight is by being part of the Bowl TV community, watching the stepladder finals live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 local time. If you are in the area, the DFW area, you can go check it out. $5 gets you in the door. That's for match play and the stepladder finals. And all proceeds going to the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame, which is right here on the campus.
The opportunity to be in the ITRC last night as things wound down. And I will say, just first thing, never for a minute doubt the appreciation these players have for the opportunity to compete on the PWBA tour and have these events and these great formats and all the locations and host cities and prize money and all that good stuff. So first things first, but that was at the end of 16 games of match play and about 13 hours of competition. And I'll be honest, they looked beat. They were. I mean, we know based on the transition of the old pattern and how far they had migrated, and there was a lot of mental toughness and mental challenges and things happening as well. As you said, they're pretty far left, sliding in the left gutter, lofting it. I saw some pretty, there's some weak equipment out there. There was a little bit of everything to try to figure out the best way, the best plan of attack after being at it for that long. So, but there was one player who was not that, and it was Jillian Martin at 17 years old. She looked like it was, game one, and she was ready to go. She finished with 240, which was big for her. As she said, she had struggled at points during the day, and especially late in the block, early in the day. So to be able to finish that off and get to the lead by just 3 sticks over Diana, she probably could have bowled another 8 games if she wanted to. And that's of course part of being youthful, right? And she had the energy, and to the point where she was hard to keep up with at the end of the night, trying to do all the things she needed to do to get ready for today. There's players going to drill balls on the truck, so Cecil and the crew and everybody just still ball reps, and they're talking about equipment and game plans and strategies, and getting equipment ready and changing surfaces and going out to the truck for some extra firepower for today. Even though it's only 8 games, it's very important 8 games, and they have to learn from the things that happened yesterday. And hopefully they all got to go and get some rest. I mean, we started at noon today, so that was at about 11 p.m. last night. So plenty of time, but these are athletes. It is tough out there. I know I bowled 3 games one day in July, and I was limping around for days. It is tough out there. I can't imagine after this week, but they're all fighters, and they all were ready. And as you gave the rundown, the numbers indicate that there's a lot of possibilities out there, right? 12 or 15 players legitimately with a chance to make the top 5 here, and a lot of leapfrogging yesterday. We had a half dozen leaders, a couple of them in and out throughout the day, and Jillian just snuck in there to happen to be the one that got there. Diana struggled a little bit, only had 1 strike in her final game yesterday, and then opened in the 10th frame to fall behind by 3 sticks. So the excitement will be there. The motivation will be there. All these players, you have no doubt, they were working into the late hours to make sure that they have every possible tool and advantage on the lanes today. But it's going to be fun, and behind the scenes, being down there, I thought that was all pretty special to see, more than just what you see on the scoreboards and here on BowlTV.
Matt, when you mentioned those totals, just kind of going down the leaderboard here. Jillian Martin, we mentioned 3 pins ahead of Diana Z, plus 621 for Jillian. Diana's at plus 618. Verity at plus 525, and then there's a bit of a gap. Jordan Richard plus 431, and then Brianna Cote with the last spot at plus 403. And we're watching Brianna as well. As we said, kind of a position round matchup against Valerie Bercier, who's 17 pins back at plus 386. 28 pins back of the show is Daria Payuk at plus 375. 32 back is Misaki Mukutani at plus 371. Sydney Brummett, 52 back, plus 351. Ashley Rucker, 53 back, plus 350. Erin McCarthy had a nice run. She went 7-1 in that second round, plus 348, 55 back of the show. Birgit Norreichs, our winner for the Go Bowling Classic, 90 back at plus 313. In 12th place, and then Daniel McCune, 110 back at plus 293. Even Jen Higgins, plus 265, our IBC Classic champion. 138 back, and then we mentioned Liz Johnson at plus 248, starting the day 155 pins back. So a lot to be determined, and Curtis had mentioned how quickly things can change from game to game, and we saw that back and forth really take place quite a bit. A lot of, in the top 5, players jumping from 1st to 4th, back to 2nd to 5th, back up to 1st, all within the matter of 4 or 5 games. So certainly nothing decided, but Jillian Martin continues to be the story out here when she's had the opportunities to compete. She had 2 shows, of course, at the Kickoff Classic Series, a runner-up finish at the ITRC Classic, and then a third-place finish at the Hall of Fame Classic, which had the same format as we're using here, 24 games of round-robin match play, determining the top 5. So she's experienced some success in this type of format here at this building. Is DZ catching a break for 3 in a row, says, what, 210? But right now, Lauren Pate is not going to get that 8-pin to fall. So Jillian's going to have a chance to sneak this game out and get that all-important 30 bonus pins going to the victor here. 15 for a tie, 0 for a loss. So once again, that win-loss mark, a big reason why Jillian is at the top of the leaderboard. She went 13-3. She's going to need the strike here.
Aaron, that was a point
so good
that she made. She said she struggled. There's 2 games. She said games 3 and 4 that she just didn't have the look that she was hoping. One of the lanes was giving her some trouble, but she was able to figure out enough to pick up those 2 victories and those 60 bonus pins. Obviously, that 60 pins would have been the difference between, based on what you said, between 1st and 4th place or so. So figuring out a way to win is the name of the game here with all of these bonus pins over 24 games. And she knows that. She's very clear about the fact, do what it takes to win. You can win with 198. That's okay. Grind it out. Get there. The big scores will come when they come. You take advantage of the pairs you can. But the most important thing is those 30 bonus pins, because times 24, that is a very significant amount of sticks on the plus side.
And Jillian's second shot of the 10th leaves the 6-10, so she needs one of them to officially lock out Lauren Pate here and get the bonus pins. Lauren can strike, get to 225, and Jillian to make sure she gets at least one here. So that first strike in the 10th put her ahead. That one missing the head pin. So Jillian's going to get the victory here, get the 30. She's going to move to 14-3 in match play. That is just phenomenal. Brianna Cote looking to get to 263 this game. Once again, she was in 5th place. So this is going to be a big game for her to stay ahead of the folks chasing. So you look at a couple players who are some spots back here. You look at Birgit Norreich, who was 90 back. She's can be in the 240s. So Brianna's got to keep her at that same distance. Valerie, once again, a player behind her. She can still get to 233 this game. So the win plus the 30 is going to keep her farther away. Jordan Richard can get to 225 this game. Their matchup against Sydney Brummett, which would be enough to get the win. Sydney can max out at 222 if she strikes out. Players struggling a little bit this game. Daria Pike can max out at 170. However, still in position to potentially get the victory. Taking on Giselle Pass here. Both players struggling. So an opportunity to sneak out a victory. Diana in position to get the win here against Misaki. Max score, though, 214. So Jillian is going to maintain her lead. Verity Crawley looks like she is going to drop game 1 against Jen Higgins. Oh, excuse me. She's taking on Erin McCarthy. McCarthy has already recorded the victory, 211 to 197. So another player moving up in the standings after a strong second block. Going to get a little bit closer here. Two 209 for Valerie in the loss. Cote can get to 242. Rocio has been putting together a nice game. I have a spare there, 230s in her victory over Maria Jose Rodriguez. $241. Push Brianna to plus 474. Jillian Martin, however, with the victory in the 227 is going to be at plus 678. Approaching the plus 700 number. Folks, as we get ready to wrap this game up, once again, a reminder that if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we'll be taking a quick break, and then you'll have to head over to bowltv.com to watch games 2 through 8 here of round-robin match play at the Bowl TV Classic to see who's going to be in the top 5, making the show later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 local here in Dallas-Fort Worth. For the folks watching on Bowl TV, you know we'll be right back. Rocio 234 out of the gates. In victory over Maria Jose Rodriguez, 187. Easy with the cover. She can get to 201 this game. That would put her at plus 619, plus the bonus pins. So plus 649, her max heading into game 2 here. And game 18 overall. So again, 16 games yesterday, 2 match play rounds on our 41-foot condition. Excuse me, 200 even for DZ. We watched her put together a masterpiece game 7 last night on this this condition that got tougher and tougher throughout the course of the block. A big 260 game to 263 specifically, but she went on a nice little run in the middle of the block when starting to get a little tougher for everybody else in games 5, 6, and 7. She went 257, 226, and 263 before closing with 179 to fall out of the lead by just a couple pins, but she's doing everything she needs to do here in the early going, getting that victory. She's now 13-4. to put herself in position to make this show. Misaki Mukutani is going to give a couple pins back. Still in the mix here, joining us from Japan. Her first PWBA Tour events here, Summer Classic Series, qualified through the PTQ. Made the top 12 at the IBC Classic, made a run at the show as well. But 185 here in the opener. We'll take a loss against Diana Zavyalova. And folks, as we get ready for game 2, we're going to take a quick break. Once again, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for joining us. Head on over to bowltv.com, pick up a subscription today. We'll be here for the rest of the day. Stepladder finals tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. But folks, game 2 coming up next on the BowlTV Classic. We'll be right back here on BowlTV.